Davin Sujiman BN, your freelance news reader. Top story number 1. Rise of China and export. While trade interdependence was a stabilizing force in China-US relations, it is now key source of friction. Secretary of State Antony Blinken went on the offensive to talk about the threat of harmful Chinese overcapacity. To him, an open production of Chinese goods spurred by Chinese state support flood markets and threatened to ruin domestic industry elsewhere. A 2016 Massachusetts Institute of Technology study attributed 22.4 million job losses between 1999 and 2011 to competition from China. And that's before China's recent surge in manufacturing. So why single out China? Part of the answer lies in the sheer scale of China's production capabilities. The Chinese factory today is juggernaut and their industry too competitive for others to handle. To be fair, China's chip exports have some upside in delivering lower price to consumers and helping major trading partners rein in inflation pressure. Coupled with China's boom in semiconductor, telecommunications, and AI, the West understandably agonized over the implication of what the Wall Street Journal in April dubbed China's Shock 2.0. This isn't about a loss of jobs or the decline of domestic industry, but a contest in next-generation tech where superiority will determine economic preeminence. A final word, a huge China reason why China overcapacity has become a problem is the exit of multinational corporations from China. From Intel to Microsoft, Nike to Dell, most have moved or announced the intention to move manufacturing to alternative hubs outside China given the geopolitical risk, trade tension, and unfriendly business environment in China arising from regulatory uncertainty. The US and China profited from past economic collaboration and trade. Today, they must find a way to coexist to manage and accommodate Chinese rise. Top story number 2. Lie to a dementia patient. Dementia is an illness that progressively robs us our memories. In line with this moral absolutism, it is always wrong to lie. But there is a different approach. Pragmatic ethics reject the notion certain acts are always morally right or wrong. Instead, acts are evaluated in terms of their usefulness, social benefit, humanity, compassion, or intent. The man who had such a strict food preference, he was refusing to eat anything at meals except a burger from the franchise. So, providing someone who has dementia with a pretend burger that may well satisfy the preference, bring joy, mitigate risk of malnutrition, improve social engagement, and prevent a behavioral disturbance without the use of medication. This seems like the correct approach in ethical terms. On occasion, the end justifies the means. The other example, ethical approach would require an elderly woman with dementia who continually approached care staff looking for her long-deceased spouse to be informed that her husband has passed. The objective truth. In such case, use 4 prompts in such scenarios. Acknowledge the concern. Acknowledge concern. I can tell you'd like him to be here. Suggest an alternative. He can't visit you right now. Provide reassurance. I am here and lots of people care about you. Redirect focus. Perhaps a walk outside or a cup of tea. Top story number 3. Singapore risk of riot. The recent riot in UK marked by a surge of white nationalist violence and targeted attack on minority communities are stark warning how quickly societal fault lines can fracture into chaos. While Singapore may seem worlds apart from this tension, the underlying forces that fuel this riot, racism, extremism, populism, and deep-seated xenophobia are universal dangerous we cannot afford to ignore. Unlike the UK's pluralistic and adversarial political system, which allow populist and far-right rhetoric to gain traction, Singapore's dominant party system has maintained stronghold on governance since 1965. Racism in Singapore may also often manifest itself in subtler forms such as microaggression or exclusionary practice, which can contribute to a climate of alienation and distrust. In Singapore, similar concern about immigration often stems from anxieties related to cost of living, employment opportunities, and infrastructural strain. In these underlying issues are not If these underlying issues are not proactively managed, they can easily become fertile ground for xenophobic sentiments. This discerning approach to freedom of expression and assembly will seem restrictive to some, but it serves as strategic check against kind of inflammatory rhetoric that has stopped tension elsewhere. By addressing the root cause of societal tension, promoting constructive dialogue, and empowering citizens to think critically, we can safeguard our nation's harmony and ensure that it remains resilient in the faces of global challenge. Darwin Sugiman BN sign off, your freelance newsreader.